I'm trying to picture the modern kind of third wave ska I'm more familiar with. It sounds like that, but it's like older production. That's just kind of how it would hit me if I didn't know any of this context. So this must be where a lot of that originated. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Nite Klub is from the band's self-titled debut album released in 1979. This track in particular has been consistently requested as far back as last year, but I've never heard of the specials. Now, I always do some preemptive research for these episodes before hearing the song, just to kind of get an idea of what I'm going into. But I have to say, the Wikipedia page for this one album gave me such a wholesome history lesson on ska history and just filled in a lot of these blanks for me, because I've wondered about terms I often see like two-tone and what a ska revival meant in the late 70s. So I'm learning too, and this has been interesting to read. It's a lot of information. I'll spare it for this episode, but it's interesting to see just how this album was a defining moment for the UK ska scene, because the specials had reworked the original sound of 1960s Jamaican ska and injected a newfound anger and punk sensibility. And as much as I enjoy hearing new songs, I think the history behind them is equally as valuable to me. So on that note, I'm going to hear the specials for the first time. Here we go with Nite Klub. Sounds like a nightclub. Cool setup. Horns? You have my interest.
Watching the girls go by, spending money on sleep all day.
Okay.
It's the only way. I'm a parasite. I creep about at night. It's a scene place to be. Woo! What am I doing here? Watching the girls go by, spending money on I don't work, 'cause I don't have to.
Okay, it helps to do some research. Just reading about the history, I almost don't know if it helps in really knowing what I'm expecting to hear musically. I'm trying to picture the modern kind of third wave ska I'm more familiar with. It sounds like that, but it's like older production. That's just kind of how it would hit me if I didn't know any of this context. So this must be where a lot of that originated. The upbeat guitars, horns, but it's got kind of a softer swing band kind of gentleness, at least in that intro. Then it kind of came in with some punch. I'm trying to understand the two-tone. Is that kind of like the back and forth of those styles? I guess I'll find out the more I hear maybe later in the song, but this has a lot of saucy goodness to it in the bass line. Wow, the bass is so loud. It has a funky tone, a funky kind of sensibility to it, just in those muted notes. My tone is too bright for this. I gotta figure something out. That kind of thing. I mean, this is like Good Times by Chic or something. Funk stuff. It has that kind of articulation. We got horns, we got upbeat guitars. This is just like a blending of so many sounds pulling out of my mind. I just love how loud the bass is. I'm gonna go back here. Yeah. Woo.
It's the only way. I'm a parasite. I creep
Okay.
about at night.
Still gotta get my tone right for this.
It's a scene place to be. What am I doing here? Watching the girls go by, spending money on I don't.
Trying to think of what bass line that reminds me of. Just in that nimble kind of bouncy thing. I mean, it's very kind of Jamerson in a way. James Jamerson maybe. Did grow up listening to a lot of that. And this has some parallel to it, just in the bass part. I just like the kind of melody in that line. I guess the phrasing of it is really catchy.
Cause I don't have to. I don't.
Is that a pop? Maybe, I don't know. Could be.
Have to work. There's no work to do. I'm a member of the Nite Klub.
It's catchy.
I'm fully paid a member of the Nite Klub.
Okay. Ooh, that's just so bouncy and good. It does have a James Jamerson kind of quality to it. I think that's why I'm so attracted to it, because I grew up trying to cut my teeth on a lot of those lines. But, there's a whole different scene, it sounds like, from what I'm reading. Music's a smaller world than I think, but that's just kind of how it's hitting me. Horace Panter. I did write his name down, and I've seen that name a lot in the comments, but this is just tasty, good, juicy bass playing to me. That has to be a pop. I don't know about slap, but you can hear that. The highs are a little kind of subdued, so it doesn't have that kind of twangy slap sound, but you can hear it just in kind of the way the strings rattling off the fretboard. Okay. God, those octaves. I'm really wondering if there's more slap and pop going on here than I might be led to believe by the tone. Slap pop, has that kind of gritty, trebly characteristic. But if you take that away, it can almost be a chameleon between fingerstyle. Transitioning from fingerstyle into slap and pop can kind of be homogenous. But because those octaves might be performed in that way. Let's see. If the tone's right, it could be done that way. Okay. A lot of techniques maybe here. The horns are just a perfect addition to this sound. That's kind of a cool trading the spotlight here. Bass kind of established that groove. Then the horns kind of came in and didn't really kind of jump right out at you and take a solo, but just kind of added little extra melodies here. But just kind of the musical chemistry I'm hearing in the way they one person comes in and the other one goes away. It's like they're in a circle watching each other. There's that watching element that you can't really see if it was happening that way, just hearing it. But when you listen, you can kind of feel that they were just on the same wavelength, performing as a band together in real time. And if it's done well, it translates really well to the recording. Big proponent of that if it can be done right. Okay.
I won't dance in a
no bass here.
like this. All the girls are slags and the beer tastes just like piss. I'm a parasite. I creep about at night. Yes, I'm a member of the Nite Klub. I'm fully paid a member of the Nite Klub.
Back to this.
What am I doing here? I'm watching the girls go by spending money on me.
fading out kind of the way the intro started. Okay. The Specials. Really interesting band to add to the repertoire here on the channel. Again, I think it's, you read about a band and the labels and genres associated with them, and in your mind you go, I don't know what that is, or maybe I'm not familiar with it. But again, just hearing this, if I'd just been shown this blindly with no research, I'd be like, that sounds a lot like the bands I grew up listening to. Funk, Jamerson, all that stuff. Horns, it has a jazzy feel, roomy kind of old school production, recorded live, I believe. This is really, really cool. I love all the different modes Horace went through here, bassline wise. And I think the coolest thing about it is that his tone, bit more old school, bit more subdued. But the benefit there is that switching techniques doesn't sound so abrasive. Because in modern music, if a bass player goes into a slap line after doing finger style stuff, your ear is just like it's almost draws your attention too much. But I like that he could sneak in those pops, maybe slaps, and it just sounded like any of those other fingerstyle lines that were happening. I mean, that's a catchy bop there. Just lyrical playing. And I keep saying it, it kind of had the melodic sensibility of like a James Jamerson line. That's a big compliment coming from me because he was one of the first bass players that made the bass audible to me. Like, I want to do that. Those bass lines are, I can sing them. There's a singable quality to them. Just like a vocal melody. So that really grabbed me. But nonetheless, that's my debut into the Specials with Nite Klub off of their debut album. Thanks to you guys who have been requesting this one for a very long time now. It's been on my list a while and I've been happy to get to it. And thanks for hanging out with me today. If you'd like to support this channel further, come find us on Patreon. I do full albums there. I have bass lessons and much more. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. We've just hit 100,000. It's been awesome. Thanks to all of you. I love you all so much. We'll see you in the next one.